Good morning, students of class 3. Today, I will be starting with lesson 2, The Inauspicious Justice of your Wordsworth English Reader book, given on page number 40. Students, you might have heard Akbar Birbal stories from your parents or grandparents. There are many stories of Akbar and Birbal. You can find them in our school library also. Now, before I start the lesson, Akbar, the Mughal ruler, was well known for his just rule. But sometimes he made mistakes, and that is when his witty and intelligent minister Birbal would step in. Birbal was one of the 9 gems of Akbar's court, and though Akbar valued Birbal's advice, he would often put his intelligence to test. There are many such incidents. Given below is an extract of one such incident. Now, students, you know that Akbar was the Mughal ruler, also known as Akbar the Great, because of his just rule. He was very just, but sometimes he made mistakes, and that was the time when his witty and intelligent minister Birbal would come to correct him without annoying him. Birbal was one of the 9 gems of Akbar's court, and Akbar was extremely fond of him. And from time to time, Akbar would also check Birbal's intelligence. And children, for your information, the 9 gems of Akbar's court were Birbal, Tansen, Abul Fazl, Faizi, Raja Man Singh, Raja Todarmal, Mulla Do Pyaza, Fakir Aziauddin, and Abdul Rahim Khan. These were the 9 gems of Akbar's court. They were also popularly known as the Navratna of Akbar. But amongst all of them, Birbal was his favorite. Birbal was the court jester in the court of Akbar. His real name was Mahesh Das, and the name Raja Birbal was given to him by Akbar. He was Akbar's closest friend and advisor, and Akbar really valued his advice because Birbal's advice were rational. They were all having a logic. And there are many incidents where Akbar tested Birbal's intelligence. This story is an extract of one such incident. Now let's start with our lesson, the inauspicious justice. Now, children, the word inauspicious, what does it mean? It means unlucky, showing signs that future will not be good or successful. Second word is justice. Justice means the fair treatment of people. Now, let's go through the word meanings given on page 14. Our first word is hawker. Hawker means seller. A person who sells things on the road is known as hawker. Second word is unfortunately. Unfortunately means sadly. Third word is courtiers, advisors. Now, earlier, what there used to be kings, isn't it? And the king used to have big courts, and in the courts there were many courtiers, means people who used to advise the king as to what to do, especially in official matters. Now, below the page, there's one phrase also, that is conduct his affairs, and conduct his affairs means to do his work. Now, let's start reading the lesson. One morning, when Akbar Emperor was looking out of his window, he saw a hawker pushing his loaded cart. Now, it was a normal morning for Akbar, and he was just standing near his window and looking outside the window. He saw a hawker pushing his loaded cart. Now, hawker, as you can see in the picture, he's got a cart loaded with lot of goods, and he's pushing the cart. So, Akbar saw the hawker. The hawker, on noticing the emperor, quickly bowed his head and then went on his way. Now, the hawker, he was an ordinary man. So, when he saw that Emperor Akbar was watching him through his window out of respect, the hawker bowed his head. He just bent his head downwards and then he went on his way. Akbar did not pay any attention to him and proceeded for his daily bath. Akbar saw the hawker. He was because he was standing at the window. It was a normal sight, so Akbar did not pay any attention. And then Akbar had to do lot of things, so he proceeded. He went for his daily bath. Now, on completing his bath, he unfortunately tripped and fell down. What happened when Akbar went to his bath? He had his bath, and after finishing his bath, sadly he tripped. Tripped means lost his balance. He lost his balance and fell down. He was in great pain with a swollen ankle and had to be held back to rest. Now, what happened when he fell down? He hurt his ankle, and when you hurt your ankle, generally it swells, and he had so much pain that he couldn't walk on his own. He needed help of other people to assist him going back to rest. And children, you know what ankle is? Ankle is that part of the leg. I mean, it's just where your leg ends and where your feet starts. The part of the leg where your mothers wear anklets. So that portion is known as ankle. So, Emperor Akbar must have sprained his ankle. So, it got swollen and then he was in great pain. Now, he was in so much pain that he couldn't walk on his own. He had to miss an important meeting with his courtier. Now, after bath, Akbar would get ready and go to the court to attend his meeting. But that day, due to lot of pain, he couldn't walk, so he couldn't attend his court, and he had to miss an important meeting with his courtiers, his advisors. He decided to conduct his affair from home and enjoy the company of his trusted courtier Birbal. Now, as we know that Akbar was very fond of Birbal, so that day Akbar thought I am unable to attend the court due to pain in my ankle, so I'll stay at home only and I'll do my work from home only, and I'll call Birbal also to give me company. So Akbar decided to stay at home only due to pain in his ankle, and then he thought he would call Birbal, who was his most trusted courtier. Birbal, unfortunately, unfortunately, Birbal had also decided to take that day off and hence could not be contacted. But unfortunately, it was a coincidence that Birbal had also taken an off that day. Birbal also did not go to the court that day, he had taken a holiday. So, uh, Akbar could not contact Birbal because Birbal was not present in the court. So now Akbar was sad that he couldn't call Birbal. Now the next page. Now before I start reading and explaining, let's go through the word meanings of this page. Dejected. Dejected means sad. Progressed. Continued. Quarreled. Fought. Tantrums, display of bad temper. Now, student, what is this display of bad tempers? At times, what happens when you have a bad mood, you start uh, displaying your anger, especially to your mother. You don't behave properly. You shout, you yell. That is, you're displaying bad temper. You are throwing tantrums. So, that's a bad habit. Don't do it. Next word is convinced. To be very sure. When you are sure of something, means you think no, this is correct. That means you are convinced. Next word is inauspicious. Inauspicious means unfortunate, unlucky. And next word is gallows. Gallows, a structure where people are killed by hanging. It's a structure where people who get punishment are hanged till death. Now, two more phrases given at the bottom of page number 15. Things came to a head means a situation becoming very bad. It keeps on worsening. Then next is sentenced him to death. Punish somebody by being killed. Punishment is given now that this person has to be killed. That is sentenced him to death. Now, feeling dejected, Akbar asked for something to drink. Now, Akbar was feeling very sad because in the morning he fell down in the after his bath. He got his ankle swollen and had severe pain. He couldn't attend his court also, couldn't attend an official meeting in the court with his courtiers. So he thought he'll continue the work from home only. But then he thought he'll call Birbal to accompany him. But then that day Birbal had also taken an off. So Akbar could not contact Birbal. So Akbar was feeling very sad that day. Now Akbar asked for something to drink. Now children, what happened? Generally, when you have a bad mood, and when you drink some juice or soft drink, it uplifts your mood. So Akbar asked for a drink. However, before he could even take a sip, a fly fell into his juice. Now what happened? Before Akbar could drink his juice, a fly fell in his juice. So obviously, when a fly falls in juice, nobody will drink that juice. So Akbar did not drink that juice. Thus Akbar remained thirsty. Akbar couldn't drink the juice, so he was thirsty. Sometimes later, Akbar, Emperor Akbar got the news that his wife's brother had been hurt in an accident and that she had rushed to see him. After some time, Emperor Akbar got the news that his wife's brother he met with an accident and he was hurt in that accident. And when his wife came to know about this news, she immediately rushed to see how her brother was. As the day progressed, he felt quite lonely and nothing seemed to work right. Now, gradually, the day passed and Akbar was feeling quite lonely because he couldn't call Birbal. Neither his wife could give him company because she had gone to see her brother who had met with an accident. So, nothing seemed to work right for Akbar that day. Now, things came to a head. Now, things came to a head means a situation becoming very bad. Hmm? That day was bad for Akbar because in the morning he slipped in the bathroom, he got hurt, he was in terrible pain, then he couldn't meet Birbal also. Birbal couldn't come to his uh, home, then a fly fell into his juice, he couldn't drink his juice, he remained thirsty. Then his wife's brother also met with an accident. So he was not in a good mood. Then in the evening, when he quarreled with his wife and threw a tantrums at all his helpers. Then what happened? Because of his bad mood, he quarreled with his wife and started displaying bad temper to all his helpers because he was in a bad mood. Tired and upset, he went to bed and wondered why he had had such a bad day. Now, he was tired, he didn't have a good day, and he was very upset. He was sad. So, he went to bed and he kept on thinking that why he had such a bad day. Why? What was the reason? Right from morning till evening, things weren't working right. In the morning, he fell down, he sprained his ankle. Then Birbal, he could not meet Birbal because Birbal was an off that day. Then a fly fell into his juice. He couldn't drink that juice. Then his wife's brother met with an accident, got hurt. Then he fought with his wife in the evening and he had a bad temper at all his helpers. So he was wondering, why such a bad day for me? Hmm? That's when he suddenly remembered seeing the hawker. Then suddenly a thought struck him that in the morning he had seen a hawker from his window. He was soon convinced that the inauspicious face of the hawker had been the cause of all his troubles. Then he made up his mind that because of that inauspicious, unlucky face of that hawker, he had a bad day and so many troubles came to him. He made up his mind that the face of hawker was unlucky for him. है ना? He was convinced that because he saw the hawker's way in the morning, he that was the reason for all the troubles he has faced that day. The next day, he called for a meeting. Next day, he went to the court and then he called for a meeting. He ordered his men to search for the hawker and sentence him to death. He ordered his men that go and search for that hawker whom I had seen the other day. He was having a loaded car, and then catch that hawker and sentence him to death. Sentence him to death just as a punishment. That hawker should be killed. The poor hawker, surprised and shocked at being sent to the gallows, begged for a meeting with Birbal before being hanged. Now, what must have happened? The king's men, they must have searched for the hawker, caught him, and then told him that now you are going to be killed because the emperor has punished you. Hmm? Now, the hawker was in a state of shock and surprise that what did he do? Why the king's emperor's men had uh, caught him, and then now why he was going to be killed without any without doing anything wrong, he was going to be killed. Now he was in a state of shock. But then he begged, he literally pleaded the emperor's men that before killing me, at least fix a meeting, fix a meeting with Birbal. I want to meet Birbal before you all hang me to death. The poor hawker, he pleaded the emperor's men that before sentencing me to death, I want to meet Birbal. And after I meet Birbal, you can hang me till death. The next part of the story I'll explain in my next